Minerva on 31st July 1980, actually
Yes.
9th May 1980, it strikes down 31C as expanded by the 42nd Amendment.
Yes, ma'am.
But, right? But then Vaman Rao holds that the unamended Article 31C is valid because it was validated, it was declared to be constitutional in Keshwanand Bharati.
For that and for
Vaman Rao,
another
the
reason.
judgment in Vaman Rao is on 13th November 1980.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is after the recent judgment in Minerva is pronounced on 31st of July 1980. So conscious of the fact that Minerva had been pronounced in terms of its reasons on 31st July 80, in Vaman Rao, the court still comes to the conclusion that 31C, pre-amended by the 42nd Amendment, is valid because it has been held to be valid by. Now, we must add one more factor to it, which is that once 31C was held to be valid in its unamended form prior to the 42nd Amendment in Keshwanand Bharati, except for that declaration, which we'll ignore for a moment, Minerva was not, therefore, couldn't have done something to the contrary for the reason, and as they rightly say in that paragraph, not only did Mr. Palkhiwala make that concession, but they said it was rightly made and correctly made. So what we then have emerging is this, that the pre-amended 31C is valid. The post-amendment 31C, expanding the ambit of 31C to include all the directive principles, has been invalidated.
Perfect. So perfect assessment. And I must grapple with the problem posed by your lordship, a lot at the close of yesterday and what your lordship has articulated today, which is what I've spent a lot of the time that I had between yesterday and today.
In a factual situation like this, does the pre-amended 31C get obliterated merely by virtue of the fact that post-amendment, the pre-amended words of 31C were sought to be expanded, and that part was held to be unconstitutional?
That is the question viewed from the other side.
That's the point which we have to answer. So how do you address that?
No, Lord, I address that not principally through Vaman Rao. And that is why I take your lordship immediately to note 8. Yes, my lord. So, my lord, I would like to take your lordship through Vaman Rao. But shall I first?
Let's see your note, actually.
Note, but because I've summarized everything because the judgment is so long.
Because Vaman Rao, there are 4 paragraphs. 50,
exactly.
53, 54, 55.
Well, I've extracted all of that also. So,
then we'll see.
Just come to my note.
Yes.
But let me show your lordship the note, and then I'll show your lordship the conclusions which I have drawn.
No problem.
So, my lord, page 94 for your lordships.